Hello guys, welcome to the 3D market commentary for today. I know I have a shadow on my face and there's not really much I can do about it, so sorry about that. I know it looks a little bit weird. My name's Becky. Welcome to the 3D market commentary. If you haven't seen this before, I'll just explain very quickly what it is. Every day we send out an email that has information on 5 of the major markets in the world. And we go through 3 major elements per each of those markets. So I'm going to go through that email and just expand on it, explain a little bit what it means and how we got to those conclusions. Before we do that, I'm just going to make sure that we cover the disclaimers here, so that they are being highlighted there on the top. Of course, important that you guys understand them from a legal perspective, as well as understanding that these kind of things are demonstrations of how we do stuff. You're welcome to ignore it if you'd like. You can take it on board if you'd like, or somewhere in between, ultimately up to you. So my name's Becky, my email address is there. I know my head is probably in the way, becky@tradictive.com. There's also this here, which is tradewithufos.com/Becky. So if you go to that link, let me just bring it up for you here. If you go to that link, you can get yourself a free Trade with UFOs membership there. Once you've done that, you'll be able to get this email that I'm about to go through. It will come through to your inbox every day. And again, information on 5 major world markets, 3 things each. You can come down, you can book one-to-one coaching if you'd like. You can also come down and ask questions in a public space, which we'd rather you do, because then all the questions and answers come down here. So it might be that the question you have, somebody else has already asked it and the answer is there. It might be that the question you have is new, and therefore by asking the question publicly and we answer it publicly, you're helping out someone else later down the line in the community. So ideally, if you have questions, that's where you'd go to do it. Go to tradewithufos.com/Becky, get yourself a free Trade with UFOs membership and ask the question there in that public space. Okay, so let's move on to the actual content of what we're looking at. We are looking at this email. So like I said, I'm just going to squidge it over a little bit, give us a little bit more room there. There we go. So if we just scroll down a second, I said that we look at 3 major elements, and this is what we have here. So first things first, market climate, meaning upcoming market direction, up or down, long or short, should we buy or sell? Where do we have probabilities, up or down? Now sometimes there's not enough probabilities either way, and we'll choose to do nothing. So we either buy, sell, or do nothing. Now, how do we answer that question? We have an app here. See those dots, different colored dots? Ignore the lines, just the dots. We use that to help us figure out where we have probabilities. So either it's a thick blue dot and we have probabilities upwards, could be a thick red dot and we have probabilities downwards, or it could be a thin dot of either color, doesn't matter. And that means not enough probabilities either way. So we know just by looking at this app, that's a free app, by the way, on most platforms. AutoClimate is a free app that will show us where we have probabilities, up, down, or nowhere, which gives us an idea of whether or not we buy, sell, or do nothing. So that's that one. Then, if we decided we are going to buy or we are going to sell, based on where the probabilities are, the question then is, where do we buy and sell? Our entries and exits, that then becomes something that we want to understand. So we use unfilled orders for this. UFOs, that's what that stands for. That's what these little flying saucer things look like. Where we have these green ones, for example, and we have the prices highlighted on the side, that shows to us where we have stacks of buy orders. Now, if we want to buy where there's big stacks of buy orders, because the more buying there is, the more likely it is to beat the selling and push it up. If we're buying, that's what we want price to do. If we're selling, we want to sell with big stacks of sell orders. Again, it shows us where the prices are. Because if we're selling, we want to sell where there's lots of other selling, because it's more likely to beat the buyers and push price down. So that's what we're looking to do all the time, is buy and sell with these big stacks of buy and sell orders. So we use an app that tells us where those stacks of buy and sell orders are. Last thing we look at is market volatility. Essentially, how quick are these markets moving? If they move really quickly, then normally that means we have a higher risk, could have higher reward. If they don't move very quickly, that usually means we have a lower risk, again, could mean a lower reward. So we'll look at that per market and we'll go through them one by one. By the way, we are looking at daily charts per market. If I just scroll down here, so you'll see that when we look at this first market, which is the S&P, let's have a look. we are looking at a daily chart of the S&P. Now we're also looking at continuous futures contracts for these. So if you don't trade futures or you don't know what they are, essentially what we're looking at right now is a representation of US stocks. That's what we're looking at. Okay, so first things first is climate. Now with climate on our S&P at the moment, it's unconfirmed. See, it says they're confirmed no. We have a thin dot. That tells us not enough probabilities either way. It's not confirmed. Doesn't matter the color, doesn't matter that it says up. What matters is that it's unconfirmed. It's thin. If we don't have enough probabilities, we're not doing anything. Why buy and sell something when you don't have probabilities? That's like gambling. We want to make sure that we buy and sell when we have probabilities in our favor. And at the moment, no probabilities either way. So we'll leave it and we'll move on. Now, in terms of buy and sell UFOs, no sell orders above us, but we do have buy orders just here at 41.23 even to 40.55.50. So if this market was to confirm itself to the upside and then take a retracement, we would potentially buy here. But of course, we need to see what happens over the next few days. So market volatility with the S&P, you'd expect movement up or down in 1 year of 20.22%, which means in a day, movement up or down of 53.14 points. In a week, up or down of 116.98 points. And in a month, up or down of 243.52 points. So that's the S&P. So overall, not enough probabilities to call it on that one. Hopefully we'll see some more clarity as we move through the other markets. So the next market is oil. In the meantime, it says that about the courses that we offer. Of course, we do courses in futures, stocks, forex, backtesting, trading plans, and psychology. So if you want to learn any one of those things, by all means take a course. Now, even if you don't want to learn any of those things and you just want to get the UFOs, you just want to get that app, which depending on which platform you use, depends on the cost. This one that I'm using right here on TradingView is $34 per month. Now, a lot of our classes come with 3-month complimentary access to the apps. Some of the classes are $34 one-off fee. Some of them are $89 one-off fee. So if you do the maths on that, it's cheaper to get a course and get 3 months access to the UFOs than to just get the UFOs initially. So perhaps that will be a better way of doing it, even if you don't want to take a course, just to get cheaper access to the apps. Okay, so oil, we have a confirmed downwards climate, thick red dot there, probability down. Now, usually this market goes down for 7 candles. That's what that's telling us. Usually goes down for 6.89 candles. Let's round that up to 7. And we're on candle number 3. That tells us that we still have probability of a continuous move down based on what usually happens. Now, another good thing that we can see here that kind of goes in this favor is that we have sell orders just here that we've just hit. Those sell orders go from 67.02 to 64.14. If we've just hit a stack of sell orders, we would expect price to move down from there. So we have probability down with the climate and probability down because it's hit a bunch of sell orders. So overall, the probability for crude oil at the moment is that it moves to the downside. Now, notice that I say probability. It's not definite, it's not guaranteed. We need to be careful. Sometimes things are unexpected. Of course, we know this, so we manage our risk just in case. But overall probability there to the downside with oil. Now, we have buy orders just here, which are 60.77 to 58.73. They've already worked. Price came in here, hit that stack of buy orders and moved up. It's exactly what we expect buy orders to do, is push price upwards. So knowing exactly where they are and using an app that says, hey, between these prices, you should probably look to buy. Using an app that helps us do that means that we know exactly where to buy and sell, where to put our entries, where to put our stops. That's why we use the UFOs. So like I said, overall on oil at the moment, probability downwards based on the climate and the UFOs. Now, in terms of volatility, in 1 year, we'd expect oil to move 39.34%. In a day, that's up or down of 1.61 points. In a week, up or down of 3.54 points. And in 1 month, up or down of 7.36 points. So that's oil. Let's move on to the next market, which is gold. Again, in the meantime, like it says there, you can subscribe just directly to the AutoUFOs if you'd like. Don't have to take a course. Like I said, it's cheaper normally to get the course because then you can see, just squishing price there, because then you can get it for cheaper. But if you'd rather just go straight and subscribe for the apps, you can do that too. So check that out if you'd like to. Okay, so gold, we have a confirmed upwards climate. Thick blue dot, probability up. Usually gold goes up for 6.1 candles. Again, I'm going to round that up to 7. You can't have a percentage of a candle, right? It either is or it isn't. So rounding up to 7. Usually this market goes up for 7 candles, and we're on candle number 15. That means we've gone way past what is usual in terms of a move to the upside. The more that happens, the less likely it is to keep doing that. The more you pull an elastic band, the less likely it is to let you keep doing that. It's either going to break or snap back on itself. So same thing that we have here with gold. It's gone way past what's normal, which means we have less probability that it continues up, more probability that it changes direction. However, overall, we still have a confirmed upwards climate, which is probability upwards. So at the moment, I'd say those two things kind of balance each other out. Probability up with the climate, but gone way past what's normal, more likely to change direction, kind of not calling it either way, to be honest. Then when it comes to buy and sell UFOs, we have sell orders up here. These might be the things that actually change the direction of the price. I don't know why this happens sometimes with my arrows. I get 2 of them at the same time. There you go. That's the one. So it's 1929.6 to 1907.5. So in theory, if price were to hit this stack of sell orders, we would expect to move down. That might be what changes the direction of price once it hits that stops this UFO or stops this climate continuing to the upside. We've got UFO here, 1847.1 to 1808.4. Again, if price were to come down and hit that, we'd expect further movement to the upside. So at the moment, the climate is kind of not enough probabilities, I wouldn't say, at the moment. So let's look at our UFOs, see which one gets hit first, and we'll have a better idea of what's likely to happen to this market. Now with volatility, with gold, we'd expect it to move up or down in 1 year of 16.47%. That means in 1 day, up or down of 19.53 points. In 1 week, up or down of 42.99 points. And in 1 month, up or down of 89.48 points. So that's gold. Let's now look at the next market. Now, in the meantime, I'm just going to say there, we offer coaching and support. Of course, we do it for free on YouTube and Facebook. You can follow us and understand the trades that we place and the methodology that we use, of course. However, we also have a closed coaching community, $21 per month, that you can access, that gives you access to more of our time in a closed environment. Either way is fine, as whatever is best for you. So next market is the US dollar. Now the dollar is responsible for 80% of transactions worldwide every single day. So whether you trade it or not, be aware of it, because it will impact all of the other markets we look at and then some. So the dollar, we have a confirmed downwards climate, thick red dot, probability downwards. Now usually this market goes down for 6 candles and we're on 6 candles. So that means based on what usually happens, we've likely come to the end of a move to the downside. And we have just hit a stack of, put my caps lock on there. We have just hit a stack of buy orders just here between 89.9, I'll say that again, 89.795 to 89.165. That's where we have a stack of buy orders. Now these buy orders have already worked here. Price came into this UFO, hit the stack of buy orders, moved up from that point. That's what we expect buy orders to do, is push price up. It's done it again. When price did hit here, it came in, went up a little bit. Came in, went up a little bit. So considering we're hitting buy orders at the moment and have come to the end of what's usual for a move to the downside, perhaps we will see a change of direction. Price might faff about a little bit, not do much, and go to unconfirmed, or it might change it to the upside. Of course, perhaps the climate wins and continues and we see it to the downside. For the time being, I'd say it's more likely that we'll see price at least stall for a little bit and perhaps change direction. With our sell UFOs, we have them up here at 90.91 to 90.575. Again, overall there, I would say likely to change direction soon, or at least stall for a little while when it comes to the dollar. Now, the current value means that we would expect the dollar to move up or down in 1 year of 5.98%. It's not as volatile as the others. That means in 1 day, a movement up or down of 0.34 points. In a week, up or down of 0.75 points. And in 1 month, up or down of 1.55 points. Okay, so next market, which is backed Bitcoin. This is the last one, last but not least. And of course, Bitcoin itself has been a little bit volatile, shall we say, a little bit crazy recently. That is the nature of cryptocurrencies in the first place. We should be aware when we trade cryptos that the market volatility is way higher normally than most other markets. It's not a good or bad thing, just is. Be aware of it if you're going to trade it. Now, at the time being, probably no surprise, we have a confirmed downwards climate, thick red dot, probability downwards there with Bitcoin. And we don't actually know how long the market usually goes up or down for. It's not been around long enough for us to have the data to say this definitely happens, this definitely happens, this normally happens, this normally happens, this is usual, this is usual. We don't have enough data. So all we know is that we've been going down and we're on candle number 8, but we do not know whether or not that's normal. Now, buy and sell UFOs. We have sell orders up here at 51,782.5 to 46,807.5. And then we have, that says that's a 30,000. I think that might have been put in wrong. And here we have 27,782.5 to 22,910. So we've got a wide range between our UFOs. That's what between the bottom bit of the sell orders and the top bit of the buy orders, you're looking at nearly $20,000 worth of Bitcoin that could move before it hits orders that could move it one way or the other. For the time being with Bitcoin, I personally would say to keep away. The volatility is high, 137.62% in a year, which in 1 day means a movement up or down of 3,149.32. In 1 week, up or down of 6,932.91. And in 1 month, up or down of 14,432. So it's likely to move a lot. That's okay if you're on the right side of it, but if you're on the wrong side of it, that's not okay. At the moment, yes, we've been going down and we have probability there to the downside, but we've got high volatility and quite a distance between our UFOs. At the moment, price is pretty much slap bang in the middle of that. It's got to move quite a bit before it hits something that gives us probability that it's going to move one way or the other. So for the time being, I would say Bitcoin, yes, overall probability is down from the climate, but we don't know whether or not that's normal, and it's very volatile. So if you want to be more risk averse, I'd keep away. If you enjoy the risk and the volatility, just be careful. Okay, so any questions that you have, you can self-schedule a clarification call, speak to one of our experts about the courses, apps, coaching, membership, what's going to work for you, what's not, what makes sense depending on your time of day and what you want to trade and all those things. We've also got this economic calendar that we get from FX Street. We filter by high impact news, and then you can filter as well if you'd like to, if you go to that link, which is just here. If you go to that link, you can filter as well by the different markets that you trade. Now, what this means is that it's showing us which days we have high impact coming out that may affect the volatility on the markets. So, for example, we've already had the Canadian dollar and already had the Japanese yen. So for the rest of today, we'll have pound information coming out later, or on UK markets. And that looks like an Argentinian flag. I might have got that really wrong. We have news coming out as well in, I think that's Argentina based on the flag, but you can look at that on the fxstreet.com economic calendar. Okay, so that wraps up what we're looking at today. I'll be back on Thursday to look at the market commentary for that day. Tomorrow and Wednesday, my colleague Boyan will be looking at it. So I hope you guys enjoy those sessions. We'll see you in other sessions throughout the week. Again, we do them for free on YouTube and Facebook. We do stocks, futures, Forex, options, psychology, methodology lessons as well. So join us on those. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on Thursday.